The exit of Henry Cavill from the Witcher series certainly came as a surprise to many. Cavill is set to say goodbye to the Netflix series in the upcoming third season. With his exit confirmed, many fans are still wondering one thing: how will the former Man of Steel star be written off the show? Now, granted, there are many other unanswered questions as well. For some of these, we might never get all the answers. The Witcher series itself has also been a bit of a controversial topic. While the show certainly has its fanbase, not everyone is equally enthusiastic. While the series has a very respectable viewer score of 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, it does not come without its harsh critics. Over the last couple of years, two major points of contention have popped up. Firstly, many feel like showrunners are not respecting the original work. While some have pushed back against this notion, most are not too happy with the direction of the series. Others do not like the fact that Gerald is not the main focus of the Witcher story. For a series as big as this, it is only natural that there will be subplots. Many feel that these subplots take away from the main Witcher story. Regardless, the big question still remains: how will Henry Cavill be written off the show? Writing his Witcher off from the series certainly comes with its challenges. There is no doubt that his exit from the show will have a drastic impact on the series moving forward. This means that showrunners will have to properly navigate this plot point or risk alienating fans even further. Many are already protesting the exit of Cavill. A change petition was done where some called for Cavill to stay on and instead the writers to be fired. This petition garnered so much attention that it was signed by over 1 million people. Over the last couple of months, there have been many theories about exactly how everything will be happening. One theory speculated that the show will receive a soft reboot. Some speculated that time travelers will somehow erase the Cavill timeline and instead leave us with Hemsworth. Others speculated that they would not address the change at all. Hemsworth will just suit up as the Witcher and no one will address the change of actors at all. However, we now know that not to be the case. A recent report has revealed that Cavill will be renouncing his Witcher status instead. However, Cavill renouncing his Witcher status still does not fully explain how Hemsworth will be written into the show. The only way it will work is if there are multiple timelines. This will likely involve Ciri traveling to another timeline to find more Witchers. Through doing this, she discovers that there is more than one Gerald. Maybe she brings one of the Geralds back to her own timeline. There is a bunch of different ways that they can do this. Hopefully, the writers do it in a manner that can carry the story forward. As stated, the exit of Henry Cavill from the Witcher series has been quite controversial. However, not everyone agrees that this is a bad thing. One of the actors of the show, Minnie Driver, who is of blood origin, recently weighed in on the conversation and actually had a pretty interesting take. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a horrible idea, but still interesting. She suggested that Cavill's exit is not the worst thing. In fact, she stated that she believes we should have multiple actors play the lead character. Instead of just having one actor playing Gerald, we should have multiple actors play him throughout the series. She suggested that the Doctor Who model be followed. As much as I respect different opinions, I am sure I do not need to explain to people why this will not work. The Witcher is a fantasy-based story and Gerald is one of the leads. In order to tell this story, you need to have continuity. In the spirit of fairness, I do not want to be completely dismissive. We do have different actors playing the same character all the time. Every few years, they cast a new Superman or Spider-Man. There does not have to be one Witcher actor forever. However, the recastings of these actors usually follow a soft or hard reboot. Pulling a Doctor Who and having a new actor continue the same story is probably not the best. Fantasy is a unique and special genre. With the current series, we already need to accept that multiple Geralds exist. Having a whole gaggle of different Witchers running around is probably not the best. Multiverse theory might work well for a superhero movie, but it is not the best for this specific fantasy-based story. It should be pointed out that all of these fan theories about new Witchers would not have happened if Henry Cavill did not decide to leave the series. With his departure, the main question still remains: why did Cavill quit the show? Unfortunately, we might never get the answer to that question. That, however, has not stopped fans from speculating. At first, many thought he left the show to explore a bigger opportunity. As most know, Cavill used to be the Man of Steel. After his brief appearance in Black Adam, many were hopeful that this would be the start of something new. Sadly, we all know how that turned out. Since then, rumors have just been more rampant. It has been speculated that things behind the scenes were not that great. Some insiders have revealed that there were some infighting between Cavill and the show writers. The Witcher star had a very clear vision for his character. He wanted to stay as close to the source material as possible. The writers, however, did not agree. They were deviating more and more every day. It is not uncommon for actors to put their foot down when it comes to the vision that they have for the character they play. In fact, it happens all the time. Wednesday star Jenna Ortega recently revealed how she clashed with show writers about the vision for her character. Henry Cavill had similar fights all the time. Sadly for him, not every showrunner is open to ideas and input. This led to arguments that eventually saw Cavill depart to go and focus on other projects. With Liam Hemsworth set to take over from Henry Cavill as The Witcher, some fans are understandably nervous. The shoes he will have to fill are quite large. It goes without saying, but Henry Cavill was already a massive movie star before The Witcher. Casting a pre-existing beloved character can go one of two ways. Either the actor makes the series or the series make the actor. Showrunners can either decide to hire an already famous person to star as their leading person. This is done in order to get more buzz around the show. In this case, the actor will make the show. Other times, you bank on a completely unknown person. Should this unknown person do a good job, it will take their career to the next level. There can be no denying that Henry Cavill's name pushed the Witcher series forward. For Liam Hemsworth, it is quite different. I mean this with no disrespect, but he is more famous for being Chris Hemsworth's brother and Miley Cyrus' ex-husband than he is known for any movie or series. This is absolutely the biggest show he has ever been part of. It can also take his career to the next level. This means that pressure will be on him like never before. One thing that we do know is that Liam Hemsworth was not just a random pick to replace Henry Cavill. In fact, he was a massive front-runner during auditions. He was all set to take the part but then lost out when Henry Cavill made it clear that he was interested. This should at least give fans a bit of comfort. For Hemsworth, his performance will not be a deciding factor in the success of the show. The writing will be. Over the last couple of years, there has been a lot of debate around lore. Some argue that The Witcher series is not following the work of the original creator. Others argue that showrunners are following it very closely, with only a few minor changes. Although The Witcher series has always had its fair share of popularity, there can be no denying that CD Projekt Red took it to new heights. A massive part of the fan base only knows the show because of the games. Thus, it is understandable that many would expect the new series to be similar to the games. The Witcher video games tell a very linear story through the eyes of mostly just Gerald and a bit of Ciri. They also do not follow the lore extremely strictly. Thus, when the series on Netflix was released, many were expecting a story that follows only Gerald and Ciri. One of the biggest criticisms I saw online was of fans who did not like the subplot stories that took away from the main Witcher plot point. In all honesty, this is where I felt the show suffered the most as well. It is clear that the showrunners are trying to build a universe that extends far beyond just Gerald. The first evidence of this was Blood Origin that failed miserably. However, based on my limited understanding of the books, I will admit that they do in fact follow the lore for the most part. At the very least, they follow it much closer than the video games, although their timeline is a bit off. While the first season was a bit all over the place, the second season was a lot more in line with the lore, at least in my opinion. After his Witcher exit, many now wonder what will be next for Henry Cavill. The last 6 months have been rough for the actor. Not only did he leave The Witcher, but he was also not recasted in James Gunn's DC as Superman. However, Cavill is a big star. When one opportunity goes away, another will pop up. Over the last couple of months, Cavill has been associated with many projects. One project he has been very closely associated with is James Bond. In fact, if reports are to be believed, Cavill is the front runner for the part and very close to signing the deal. This, however, is not the first time that Cavill has been up for the part. In 2006, he also auditions for the role, but was ultimately dismissed due to his weight. Instead, the part went to Daniel Craig. Ultimately, the rejection ended up being great for Cavill's career. In addition to this, Cavill is also busy with another big project. In the past, he has been very open about his love for games. One particular game he has always spoken about is Warhammer. Now, along with Amazon, he will have an opportunity to bring the video game world to life. Many are actually speculating that his frustration with The Witcher led him to this moment. He got frustrated with showrunners at Netflix for not respecting the lore, so he decided to make his own show where they will be more respectful of the source material. However, this is still an Amazon series. They themselves do not have the best reputation for staying true to the original work. Hopefully, this series will turn out better than Rings of Power. The movie roles for Henry Cavill are certainly starting to roll in. Not only is he busy with Warhammer and the frontrunner to take over as the new James Bond, but he might also soon be joining the Game of Thrones universe. At least, that is what fans want. HBO Max right now is heavily expanding its content. One IP they are banking on right now is Game of Thrones. After the success of House of the Dragon, they are looking to expand even more. Right now, HBO is actively busy developing another prequel. This story will focus on Aegon Targaryen and how his family came into power. This is certainly a story that many fans are interested in. Right now, the front runner to play Aegon is Henry Cavill. Now, it should be noted that this is nothing more than speculation right now. The show is still in very early development. There is also no evidence that Cavill even made himself available for the role. However, should the part become available, he would definitely be a great choice. This prequel, however, will not come in the form of another series. Instead, this will be the first ever movie within the Game of Thrones series. One thing that we do know is that HBO has cancelled a bunch of shows previously. Rumors have it that there were quite a few Game of Thrones spin-offs that actually made the chopping block. However, should this movie be made, it will be interesting to see who they will cast. There can be no denying that Henry Cavill will actually be a great pick. He has the experience and will be a great addition to the story. Overall, it is going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Right now, The Witcher is in a very complicated position. Even while Henry Cavill was in the series, fans were not too kind. Most held out and continued to watch because they were fans of Cavill. With him now out, it will be interesting to see if viewers return. Furthermore, Liam Hemsworth is finding himself in a difficult position as well. Although he did not do anything wrong, fans will still give him a hard time. As for Cavill, things certainly look bright. Although he did not have the best few months, things will certainly turn around. As disappointed as he was to lose out on the Superman role, he will certainly come back to bigger and better roles in the future. Should he land the James Bond part, it will be massive for his career. His upcoming Warhammer series is of equal importance. I speak under correction here, but I believe this is the first time that he will be responsible for creating a series. Warhammer has a long and rich history with a dedicated fanbase. Bringing this series to life will be no small feat. Henry Cavill has built up a great reputation for himself over the years. Pressure will now be higher than ever for him to deliver a great series that stays true to the original work.